Scientists just developed a shape-shifting, programmable, metafluid robot that can be controlled. Yeah, this just happened. And then you have
Terminator 2.0 already.
articles that's coming out and saying that it's almost like the T-1000 robot from the Terminator. Yeah, y'all remember how that T-1000 robot escaped the cage off the Terminator? Well, they recreated that. Scientists have recreated a robot that can shapeshift between solids and liquid states, enabling them to perform mind-boggling features, such as jump climbing and oozing out of cages. And it reminds them of the T-1000 robot. And the shapes of the movement of the machine is controlled by magnetic fields, an approach that might lead to new biomedic and engineering technologies. I swear it's like every day now that this becomes more and more like a reality. First we started seeing Skynet on power lines, then people start recreating robots, and now we got liquid robots, just like the Terminator. Isn't that great?
I don't know if I trust humans just yet for that kind of technology. People can't drive as it is. Acting like she hitting it with a metal something. That was totally plastic.
Check this out, y'all. Look at this. Y'all seen this? Do y'all see that? Hold on, let me slow it down for y'all. Check this out. Remember, they said these people will start
Man, it looked like she been inside hitting that pipe for weeks straight on a binge.
showing themselves. You guys see that? Bro. And that's not a filter neither, because as soon as she seen this, like, she tried to hide her face.
She knew she came outside looking like that.
Y'all see that? It's literally like Blade, bro. Are you kidding me? Bro, look at her hands. Look at her hands when it comes.
Man, he caught her without the lace front on. I know she's shitty.
Out the jacket pocket, y'all. Look at, again, she tries to hide her face. They literally are amongst us. Look at that, huh?
Literally, she's just a regular person. He talking about they literally amongst us. Imagine her seeing this video.
Bro, when they said we were gonna start seeing these people, I didn't think it was gonna be this quick. But look at that, y'all. It looks like Baraka from Mortal Kombat. She literally looks like Baraka from Mortal Kombat. And she's tall too, bro. She's lanky. So what do you guys make what's going on here? Again, he ran into her when he was on her way home, trying to ask her what kind of music she listened to, and
trying to ask her what kind of music she listened to. Dude, silly.
He was met with this surprise, and she was surprised as well, y'all. Look at this, y'all. It's crazy.
Whoa, wherever it was, it literally scared the shit out of him. It's dropping chunks on the ground, you hear me?
I had a second experience in 2010, which is well documented. I've talked about it. It took years to come out about it because I basically lost my whole family over this.
No way.
Yeah.
You came out of the closet? No,
Diddy.
No.
But yeah, I did.
Tell me, what happened?
So 2010, I came home. I was working on this big project called Fort Terra Nova, which I built. And Fort Terra Nova it was on the History Channel, a Countdown to Apocalypse, the Nostradamus episode. And anyway, so I was working on this project. I come home, I'm looking at ESPN, and I'm looking at sports. About 9:00 p.m. All the lights turn dim, the TV turns off, and I thought my kids were playing a trick on me because they lived up in the room behind me, up on the second floor. And I look up, and there's nobody there. When I turn around, there were these two beings right there.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And, man, hold on.
Whoa.
Sorry.
No.
What do you have to creep this up, man?
No. This makes for good TV. No.
So they were right there. I'm sitting in a chair about this high, so they were right here in my eyes. And,
Yo, Alex is freaking out right now. What the fuck? This is wild. Okay.
All right, let me get myself together.
No, take your time.
So they were there. They had the big almond eyes like you see on TV. I swear they did.
So you're two beings in front of
But
you.
they didn't look like they were real eyes. They looked like coverings of some type. And they didn't communicate with me through any kind of telepathy that I can tell, but I felt like my brain was shaking in my skull to the point where it started hurting, and I started screaming, but no sound was coming out of my throat. I can feel the air coming out, but I couldn't hear it myself.
And you were awake during this period. You
I
weren't
was
taking
awake,
a nap or anything like
taking
that?
a nap. No psychedelics.
Of course, yeah.
And my whole house, everyone was in. My wife at the time, my ex-wife was in the bedroom right behind the next wall. My girls were in that side of the house, a split floor plan. My boys were in that side of the house. The house was full of people. Nobody heard or saw anything. I was screaming. A few seconds later, it stops, and they turn around, and they don't walk like a person. They kind of dangle. So they kind of dangled away, and they went right through the wall. And then, boom, the TV comes back. The lights come back to normal color. And that's when I went running around the house, and it was just traumatic for everybody, and it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. There was other reasons why, but I ended up my one son Giovanni. He's told me I'm scared to even come around you, and still to this day he rarely ever calls me or comes around. It's like I lost my son. I made no money off of this. I got no exposure off of this. That's why I kept it quiet for so long. Lost my family. Created a lot of dissension. I remember we were on the highway one day, and my wife was driving at the time, my ex-wife, and she slammed on the brakes, and it was like, just get out of the car, because the kids were scared, and I was like, I'm sticking to my story. I'm not changing my story because this really happened to me, and they just didn't want to hear it. But her parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, so everything was of the devil.
Yeah.
Artifact Porn, Part 1. This ancient Roman ring from the 1st century AD features an incredible hologram effect. It was found in the grave of a noblewoman named Aebutia Quarta, and is thought to depict her son Titus Carvilius Gamello, who died at the age of 18. This flexible rapier, concealed in a silver ring snake sheath, was made during the 19th century in Toledo, Spain. During Prohibition, American moonshiners had to avoid the police as much as possible, so they invented heifer heels. These shoes made their footprints appear as cow hooves when they were transporting their products from stills. The Crooked House in Lavenham is England's wonkiest home. Dating back nearly 700 years, it was the inspiration behind the famous nursery rhyme, "There was a crooked man." Oh no, someone's getting cursed. This gas line happened to be laid straight through the skull of a 1500-year-old Anglo-Saxon woman. This find led to the discovery of an entire ancient cemetery underneath an English elementary school playground.
Imagine in this very moment you were sitting down, sucking down some bulldog salmon spicy noodles, and you push a baby out of your birth canal.
As I'm walking, I felt down and felt a small
Having a baby while eating some oodles and noodles?
basketball size something coming out. I remember my body just forcing itself to push.
I don't know. I'm not a woman or anything, but how do you not know you're not pregnant? I heard of it happening, but that far along? A whole term? Oh, somebody explain, please.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
19-year-old Dragissa is living with her fiancé and his family when she suffers agonizing pain. She thinks she's suffering from constipation, so she's stunned when she pushes a baby out into her toilet bowl without ever knowing she was pregnant.
I was just wondering why. Why is this thing sticking out of me, and why did I just have a baby?
The baby kept looking at me like, Dad, are you going to pick me up? Or are you just going to leave me here?
Tony
That's wild. Are you gonna pick me up or leave me here?
gave me the baby. Like, I knew what to do with it. I just remember her looking at me, and I was just in shock.
After a day of excruciating stomach cramps, Amy's boyfriend takes her to an urgent care clinic that is set up to deal with only the most routine medical problems. While nurses wait for an ambulance to take Amy 5 miles to the nearest hospital, she stuns them by suddenly giving birth to a baby in her pants. She had no epidural and no painkillers because she didn't even know she was pregnant.
I had raised my leg up, and the baby had fell down my pants leg and was stuck in my pants leg at the bottom.
Oh my God!
The nurses struggled to...
The baby fell down the pants leg. That is absolutely insane. Like, I don't know. I really don't know what to say at this point. I'm really just at all.
Deal with the aftermath of a delivery they aren't trained or equipped to handle.
All chaos broke loose. The nurses, one was fighting with the other one about, oh no, we need to do this, and the other said, no, we need to do this. I mean, they were throwing stuff. I was just in a trance, more or less. I was staring up at the ceiling. I really couldn't believe it.
Oh my God.
Did Back to the Future show us the dome, flat earth, and the underworld? Are flat and globe earth both psyops? And what's Ezekiel's terrible crystal in the Bible? First off, NASA's not an option, so let's just get that out of the way right now. What this video's not, a typical FE verse globe earth repeat cycle debate that's focused only on the shape and goes nowhere. Not only will this be a spiritual view about how the ancients understood the realm, but more importantly, the why. And even though it may be closer, really important to identify the psyop elements crept in with the flat earth movement. All this coming up. Behind me, you clearly see when Doc says we're stuck here in the underworld, which is hell, that they clearly describe as hell, and they have to escape the underworld to get back to the earth. They also show you the dome. In the series, it's established that Doc Brown is related to the Von Braun family and Werner Von Braun, who was totally obsessed with escaping man's limits, just like Doc Brown, and also used the same Y symbol that you see in the flux capacitor. Werner Von Braun, aside having interesting relationships with NASA, Disney, rockets, also had no way of knowing any of the knowledge that he attained. This is all spiritual technology, and you can check more videos on my page about this. On his tombstone, he left a clue. Maybe a deathbed confession that says Psalm 19:1, which identifies the firmament as the handiwork of God's hands. A major clue into the spiritual technology that we call the firmament. So what do other references and the original languages say? In Genesis, Rakia is rendered as a solid object. In Job 37:18, it says the sky is spread, likened to a cast metal mirror, as hard as cast metal, as strong and as molten looking glass, also to reflect heat like a bronze mirror. Can you make the skies as firm as a mirror made of metal? Which is also exactly how the ancient Egyptians saw it. They saw the realm as an iron metal dome inside of a cosmic ocean. Check it out. This crystalline crystal ball magic mirror firmament technology is a total holotech computer system, sophisticated watching technology, as well as many other things including calendrics built right in. Amos 9 actually calls it a dome in several translations. In the Amplified Legacy, NASB, and others, says he founded his vaulted dome over the earth. A vaulted ceiling in the dome shape. Planetarium mode. Also, check out this chapter breakdown of story arcs in the Bible, having nothing to do with cosmology, only literary and story arcs. I found it, and instantly when I saw it, I thought it looked exactly like the realm. Look, even in the middle with the longest chapter, being right in the middle, Psalms, even diving down like Sheol. Pretty interesting. Looks just like the cosmology that Enoch and the Bible display. In Revelation, it says the sky will recede like a scroll. The ultimate holotech, the simulated firmament. Think about how many things are so precisely predicted, from eclipses to the movement of everything, down to a complete and literal science. It's programmed into it. Plus, not to mention
Everything is predicted down to the T, seem like, from the eclipses and everything. It's pretty crazy if you ask me.
Very anomalous things that have happened to show another side, a spiritual side of the realm. So what is Ezekiel's terrible crystal? Check out in this verse, he talks about above the head of the living creatures, which we know are around God's throne, there was another firmament, which looked like a terrible crystal or an awesome crystal. Kind of reminds me of this dragon egg crystal cave. Check it out. Looks totally awesome. Also, crystal is in a state where it's not solid or liquid. It vibrates so fast it's totally different type of state of matter. Different type of water. Crystalline technology, primary water in its perfect shalom state, holotech firmament form. Like scalar waves in the field, this interactive biosim that we all live in. Kind of how the ancients viewed it. Also, this mentions the waters above. In Genesis, there's waters above the firmament and below the firmament. And aside from Ezekiel mentioning a crystal, Revelation says there's actually a crystal sea right below God's feet, right on top of the firmament, which is the waters above the crystal sea. Also, this liquid solid state, primary structured water, crystal firmament technology, sky stones have been found in Antarctica and Sierra Leone. These four living creatures are also the winged Ophanim mentioned in Ezekiel, and you'll see several Ezekiel Revelation parallels, from the tetramorphs to the crystals, etc. Also, are we looking at a dome above the dome with this description about the terrible crystal from Ezekiel? Levels of heavens, third, that Paul mentioned that he went to, or the seventh heaven. Norse idea of 9 realms, scientific quantum ideas of 12 dimensions or sophisticated Dyson sphere-like holotech. These are all thoughts, but again, it's about the why, not the shape. Because speaking of dimensional, shape is just perception, and once we advance to higher dimensions, it won't even look like what it looks like now. Higher dimensions would see it different, so the ultimate focus is the why. Which brings us into the nature of the psyop, and how the psyop will only give you 2 brute beast choices that both have psyop elements, rather than just seeking the truth to wherever it leads. That's the nature of where psyops lead. Focus shifting, toxic arguing, never going anywhere. It's not productive or respect of the exchanging of different ideas like the Midrash is. Also, to be quite frank, God said that the dimensions and the entire nature of the heavens would be impossible to figure out in the book of Jeremiah. Yet NASA and the Babylonian priesthood claim to. Speaking of psyops, check out this star. Or is it a piece of chorizo, which was later admitted? That's how psyops work. But another main thing you'll see about psyops before we close is bad reasoning and horrible fallacies. Straw man arguments, and it's total, probably, letter agency psyop gauging. Something that's true but pumping into the minds of everybody that the reasons why it's true are all wrong. This is part of the psyop. So the why is the nature of, that this is a spiritual realm that God created for man. And it's completely different than a random ball spinning through space, no purpose, not going anywhere. Check out some of the key differences in the picture here. Science of all kinds, from quantum physics, including string theory, are all adapting and trying to figure out through the simulated, holographic, created basically, research train of figuring it all out. Also, not an accident that the current NASA model and the theory of evolution and Darwinism kind of all evolved around the same time. The real evolution. Maybe the ancients really did know more. Remember what I told you about the ancient Egyptians, what I showed you from the Bible and these ancient texts, and what you can find from all over the other world. Maybe there weren't a bunch of idiots. Well, I hope I've sparked your brain and curiosity enough to keep investigating mysteries on your own, and not accepting the Coke, Pepsi, psyop choices that you're given. Until the next time, keep your dome free of invaders.
No, she gonna be sweating like a mug inside that suit. I remember we had to dress up in chem gear sometime in the military, and it used to be hot as hell, be sweating.
A relentless homelessness crisis, the city of Los Angeles is now betting on AI for innovative solutions. Let me explain what they're doing. The city of LA, with the help of UCLA, has launched a pilot program that uses AI to predict when someone might be at risk of homelessness and support them. So far, it's helped about 800 different individuals and families. Essentially, how the AI model works is it harnesses data from social services, health services, and emergency services to predict when someone might be at risk of homelessness. They then send them a letter offering support. Eligible individuals and families can receive anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000, as well as a variety of other services to help stabilize their situation before they become homeless.
Yeah, I'll take that extra 4 bands.
The program provides ongoing support and assesses participants every 12, 16, and 18 months, ensuring stability and that they keep their housing. 86% of participants in this pilot program have kept their housing. What I think is so smart about this is by acting proactively with AI, the city of Los Angeles is saving and improving lives, but also saving money in the long run by limiting things like crisis management costs, as well as housing and other variety of service costs. This program brings up so many interesting philosophical questions. Is this the kind of use of AI we want? Do we want AI to solve some of our societal problems? Also, is this the future of AI and how social services work together? Is this a bit of an overreach, almost like some sci-fi movies, that is preventing versus reacting? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments and follow for more.
Over 100 whales got stranded on the beach in Australia. I think it was like 140. What's going on?
News today of a mass whale stranding on a beach in Australia. Around 160 pilot whales becoming stuck in shallow waters in the country's west. Wildlife officers working desperately to rescue the animals. Most made it back out to the ocean. Some 29 couldn't be saved.
Know anything about dolphins? They some of the most intelligent species animals on this planet, some of the most intelligent creatures, and that go for all species and all different types of mammals and insects. Are they some of the most intelligent creatures? So all of a sudden dolphins don't know where to go, they don't know their routes, they don't know how to swim. Like a lot of people, when you think of just nature, right, you think of trees and grass and the woods. That's not that's a part of nature.
I don't know, dolphins are pretty smart. For them to be watching up on beaches, need to raise some questions. They running from something, definitely.
Nature is right there. That breath right there is nature, bro. It's the life force that flows within these ethers, bro, on this planet. And when they do all these things, TikTok is for entertainment purposes only. When they do all these things like CERN and cloud seeding and all this, bro, it affects our connection. I remember I seen this video of Dalai Africa, and he was saying how we are disconnected from nature. So we used to be able to smell when the rain coming. We used to be able to predict when what plant that was, what this plant do, what this plant do. Now all we know is where the nearest Walmart is, where the gas station is, and you know the smell of tires, you know the smell of fuel. How we know what plastic bush smell like instead of knowing our true natural abilities. But that could be happening with the dolphins too. So the dolphins could be getting misdirected because of all the bush that they throw in these oceans, man. Let's be honest. I don't know what's going on in Australia, but we know it's a global entity, a global parasite on this planet that is extracting the resources of this planet, then charging it at a fee for the people that were born here, that are literally earthborn. When you sit here and think about this world, right? You got 9 billion people allegedly that's here born on Earth, right? And and almost not everybody, not all 9 billion, but majority of this planet is under indoctrination. If they don't have if they can't have a threat near you, a gun near your vicinity to scare you, then they got your mind. If you ain't in a state to where it's folks walking around with ARs, then they got your mind. And some states got both. Y'all seen my last video on the Colorado brainwave thing. Why is Colorado the first state to pass brainwave protection? Why do we need brainwave protection? Is this taught in school? Does this affect our ability to learn? Get a job, get a career, don't think about nothing else. And when we hit you with every silent weapon, you just think, oh, I'm just stressed out. Don't ever get to the bottom of it. And we're conspiracy theorists. We're crazy for questioning this bullshit around, bro. It's bullshit.
Over the years, there's been a ton of animals washing up on these beaches. It can be a world of possibility. What are your guesses?
This young lady right here is actually some kind of AI filter. Sure is. If you look at the picture on the top, that's who the...
That's crazy. But I mean, I can see it though. That's basically what Snapchat and Instagram do, making girls look like that. People out here be catfishing people out here. World crazy.
Person really is. The AI filter is doing the same thing that the real person is, but it's making this person look like this young Asian type of anime girl. It looks real, baby. It looks real. Now, I've been saying for months, there are people, I guess you'd call them people, who are on Twitter who are really AI. Most of the accounts that I've seen are of women, and you can kind of tell that it's not actually real. Because as close as those Twitter accounts come to looking like an actual person, there's always something just a little different. Now, this is better than the...
It's usually their hands that look a little different. They be coming out with like 6 fingers or something like that.
The accounts I've seen on Twitter. I would have thought that's a real girl if it wasn't for the person up in the corner. So I'm wondering how many other things we're coming across, not just on social media, aren't real. They're actually AI generated. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's a bunch of things. I don't think there's any way for us to know. But I had a question for you. Have you come across anything that you believe's AI generated that doesn't say it is? If you have, let me know in the comment section, Booskies. Shabadoo!
Who's going to win the White House in 2024?
Elon Musk was asked this question and he responded AI. Listen to this.
Who do you think will win the White House in 2032? Which type of AI? Transformers or the Fusion?
So he speaks of Transformers or the Fusion. We're going to be talking about it in this video. But what you just saw was a cat.
Oh no, I think he was thinking a little different. Because imagine the president really being the president, but then they're using AI to make all their decisions. It's deep.
Generated by AI, whales generated through Project Bluebeam. Also, people are marrying holograms. So we are about to experience things happen in this world that has never happened before. And when you're looking at AI and the possibilities here, there are things that people know that they have not shared. But let's get into it. Transformers are a type of neural network architecture, and transform or changes an input sequence into an output sequence. They do this by learning context and tracking data. So what they do is deep learning or natural language processing. People should actually start studying into the different types of AI because you're going to want to know in the future. Diffusion models. The diffusion model is a deep neural network that holds latent variables capable of learning the structure of a given image by removing its blur. So basically what we have here are there are different types of AI that are being developed right now that will work together in the future. And the question that he answered, which type of AI, it was kind of like a joke, but he's being serious. What we have available now, no one really knows. We only know the surface. What do you guys think? Comment below. Will AI go into the White House?
The giant black blob just showed up inside of Antarctica once again, but y'all said it was a glitch before. So you mean to tell me they had 2 glitches in the same spot, but this glitch is now bigger? It's something strange taking place right now inside of Antarctica. I don't know if this is a mothership.
I don't know for that same blob to be kind of in the same spot. That is kind of creepy to me. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments.
If it's some kind of creature from the ocean, but it's getting bigger. But the real question is, where the hell is it going at? And why is it getting bigger? Is that giant blob connected to all the gold that's coming out of the volcano right now? We got to start connecting these dots because we know the media is not going to tell us what's going on. So I guess we got to do our own research. So many stories coming out about Antarctica. It's the end of the world. It's the whole new reality. It take you to Mars. It's flat Earth. It's inner Earth. We heard so many stories, but now we are seeing so much activity take place over there. Before we heard nothing about Antarctica. It was nothing but secrets. But why all of a sudden all these things are coming out? We all know that they have Project Bluebeam and they can make holograms look so real. So a lot of times when we see UFOs or the blob in Antarctica, it could be Project Bluebeam, but you have to understand that this was a trick to deceive you, because when real things like this take place, people gonna say that shit is not real. We so used to saying that shit is not real. When something real do take place, we gonna say that shit is not real. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of things changing on this planet right now. It could be for the better or it could be for the worse, but it's going to change. The first time they said the blob was a glitch, okay, I can kind of understand that. But it happened again, and it's getting bigger and bigger. That's not no glitch, that's something real. You know it's getting out of hand because the people can't even block it. They can't even hide that shit no more. So once they can't hide certain things from us no more, we should know that shit is...
I can almost guarantee you, if that volcano spewing dust is gold, somebody up there definitely getting it. Whatever that blob is, it's definitely getting strange at this point. I know that was painful. I hope he had insurance or something. It looked like they're kind of driving towards the tornado. I'll definitely be going the other way and hitting about 100 down there. You know he got fired. They all play dead at the same time. They need to get their acting skills together, for real. If that wasn't CGI, I can't tell you nothing else. That definitely don't look heavy at all. It look like some kind of styrofoam or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
What is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
He keep acting like somebody gonna give him an answer.
Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Yo. What the actual fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
You accidentally ingest food contaminated with tapeworm eggs. Over time, these eggs will gradually hatch in your intestines. Once successfully hatched, they will astonishingly hook onto your intestinal wall at an alarming rate, then start absorbing nutrients from your digestive system, thereby promoting their own growth. As the tapeworm develops, it will continue to grow inside you. It can grow to several meters in length inside your body and can survive in the host's body for several years. During this time, the tapeworm will continue to absorb your nutrients, causing serious harm to the body. However, ingesting contaminated water can also lead to parasitic infections. This is a type of strongyloid stercoralis. It is a rare, slender-bodied parasite. If people drink contaminated water sources, they may become infected with this parasite. Once infected, the parasite will grow and develop inside the human body. During this time, they will gradually migrate through the body tissues. Eventually, the several meters long worm will reach the surface of the skin. This process will lead to the skin forming painful and unbearable blisters when the worm slowly starts to emerge.
You wonder why you can't gain weight, only to find out you got a 2-foot long tapeworm all in your gut.
Oh, wait a minute, TikTok? But what you're saying is Social Security is a scam. All the people that put in their hard work, sweat, equity, and tears into a JOB aren't getting Social Security? The Social Security money has been spent? What's good, America? They spent all our Social Security money on exactly what? Run that video, comment below. And this is for educational purposes only. Share this video with someone you love, care, and respect.
This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then
look, I ain't got it. I ain't got it, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't got it.
Taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. We are in huge trouble. In this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon, and there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in? I could have put my Social Security money for 40 years in tax and in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today. But the federal government wasted it. So I'll get off my horse there. But it's good that we have this, because we got, I get a little pension check from education. I was part of a union. It's not going to help people. People are going to have to work, continue to work longer and longer. Am I right, Ms. Gender? Can you say something about Social Security and it being taxed for some reason? We're taxing people for the second time on the Social Security that they put into an account.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out when Social Security was first founded, those who established it, it was started out as a 2% tax, and they said this will never take more than 6% of your income. Today it takes 12.4%, and depending on whether you go with CBO or Social Security trustees, it needs to take between 15.8 and 17.5%. So we're talking about thousands of dollars more per year. It also was actually only originally recommended that the tax be up to $66,000, equivalent in today's dollars of earnings. But over time it has expanded massively, and the money has been spent every year. So whereas everybody thinks this money's been set aside for me, no, for the past 13 years, every dollar that has gone out of workers' paychecks has gone immediately to pay promised benefits. And that's what happens when you have a system that enables those in charge of it to spend the money in the immediate term and leave the buck to the next generation that's coming along. And because Social Security has grown so much, it's actually to the detriment of lower income workers in particular, who have to pay such a large share of their tax, their paycheck to Social Security. They have little left to save for retirement. And then lower income and African American workers have the lowest life expectancies. So they are the most likely to get nothing back in return. 1 out of 4 African American men will die between the ages of 45 and 64 after having paid into this system for decades, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they might get nothing back.
What's the solution?
I think we ultimately have to shift towards a universal benefit system. That's what true social insurance is. It does not make sense that we are paying the biggest benefits to the highest income earners. So gradually over time, I think we need to bend down the benefits for the middle and upper income earners, actually increase them for the lower income earners. Look at things like indexing retirement age to life expectancy, more accurate inflation index. And I think that workers need an option to have their money in something that actually earns a positive rate of return and that can't just immediately be spent by Congress.
I have a 28, 29-year-old, 2 boys, got a job, working hard, paying Social Security. They ask me all the time, Dad, will I ever see any of that money? Will they see it?
I think they will see some of it. That's the exact same thing I hear whenever I ask a group of younger workers, and none of them raises their hands. So I think that there will be something there, but it's not going to be what has been promised.
This is all the latest news in the UK, but in 60 seconds. If you have a best friend, you can say goodbye. Honestly, should we leave? Yep, it's now banned in UK schools to have a best friend. So they ban A-levels and say we have to stay in school doing maths and English till we're 18. They're trying to ban flipping school holidays. Now you can't even have a best friend. Yeah, apparently having a best friend is extremely harmful and detrimental to young kids' health. NASA has urged the UK to search for the Loch Ness Monster again. Why? I don't know. But from the 30th of May to the 2nd of June, so not very long, NASA, along with research teams in Scotland, will be searching Loch Ness for the Loch Ness Monster again. Could NASA be doing better things? Probably. Is there a Loch Ness Monster? Probably not. The Rwanda bill is becoming law this Thursday, apparently. Will it? Who knows? Ryanair CEO have stepped forward and said that he will use his planes to take these people to Rwanda. This is of course to tackle illegal migration, but the government are still wanting to put money into paying influencers to tell people not to come to the UK, so we'll see if that works. Baba Vanga, the famous mystic who has predicted lots of things correctly, her predictions are starting to come true in the UK now as well, such as us being in a recession and the huge economic crisis which she predicted for 2024. Did she predict it, or are we all just stupid? As always, I'll keep you updated on all the latest stuff, so add me and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
If the UK is giving influencers money to stop them from coming to the UK, this dude is definitely doing a good job because he makes the UK look less appealing.
So I don't know where this is located, but there was a bunch of people that got together and started putting their metal detectors in the skies, and they started to go off. So that means somehow, some way, there is metals that's in the sky that's making these metal detectors go off. Don't y'all find that quite interesting? Because what could potentially be making these metal detectors go off? Oh no! Oopsie poopsie! How did this get here? I do not know. I started to read this article talking about heavy metal pollution, and these are some of the metals that could be found inside of our air, like lead, zinc, copper, mercury, and many other heavy metals that is found inside of our atmosphere that we breathing in. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, gang. I do find that kind of crazy that it's enough heavy metals in the earth to start making some of these metal detectors go off. Just saying. Interesting.
If they really picking up metal signals from the air, that's a lot of metal. But I doubt if this is true. I had to check into it and do more research. Leave your comments if you know something more about this.
Now we have experts coming out telling us that these UFOs are real. What do that mean for us, and what took them so long to tell us this? These aliens, demons, fallen angels, they share the same world with us. You ever wonder why the world is so fucked up and so chaotic all the time? You ever wonder where these governments get all these technologies from? Project Bluebeam, CERN, cloud seeding, energy attracts energy. If this world is more negative, they can attract more negative life forms on this planet. If the world is more positive, we can get more positive beings on this planet. Yes, it's really that simple, negative, positive. So if they can create chaos, war, starvation, that means more negative demons can come on this planet. But they tricked us and made us believe that every UFO is evil. That's not true. It's all about tricking people. Look at the word matrix. Matrix, the word trick is in there. The Joker or the trickster is always tricking us because we forgot that we live in a spiritual world. We forgot that other life forms live with us. And if we can't remember other life forms living with us, then they can always influence us to do dumb shit. And you look at the world, there's a lot of people doing dumb shit. This is a great influence coming from demonic beings. I wonder what took them so long to come out and say those aliens in Vegas was real. The expert or the specialist got permission from certain people to say, go tell them that shit is real. Once they believe it's real, let's see how they're going to act. So next time they can make a bigger stage, a bigger event, and they're going to sit back and laugh at us because we don't know no better. These UFOs are not coming from hundreds and millions of light years away. They already live with us. They walk with us every day. They go grocery shopping with us every day. But if you don't have higher frequencies, you're not going to be able to identify them. Remember, their technology is so advanced, they can do all kind of things. If they can open portals, why do you think they can't blend in with us when we walk outside? The reason why they put this fake sun simulator up in the sky is because it's trying to block out the solar rays that's coming from the sun. This sun simulator acts like a mirror. So if the sun is sending rays on this planet, the rays will hit this sun simulator, which is a mirror, and it will push you solar rays somewhere else, so we can't get the magnetic power from the sun.
You mentioned paranormal activity. What exactly did you see?
Were the 8 to 10 foot Las Vegas alien creatures actually something creepier? Perhaps.
17-year-old Angel Kenmore, who previously reported seeing non-human alien creatures in his backyard, is now experiencing even stranger phenomena at his family's Las Vegas home. He claims to have seen a cross floating and Bible pages flipping by themselves with no breeze around. Kenmore believes that there's a connection between the creatures he reported in his family's backyard last year and the current phenomena inside his house. Now, he isn't so sure that they were extraterrestrial, but perhaps fallen angels. The Kenmore family, shaken by these events, is now looking to move. Could these have been some sort of interdimensional beings? What do you think?
Well, I was in another room, my brother called me, and there was a upside down cross, and there was a Jesus statue in it. They ripped Jesus out of it, they threw him like across the room, and it was floating upside down.
Are you saying floating in the air?
Yeah, like in the air, it was floating upside down.
And you can say definitively, without lies, that that is what you saw?
Yes, swear to God, that's what I said.
Okay, and what about the Bible? What did you tell me about that?
Oh yeah, the Bible. So I was chilling normal. There was just a Bible just going like this, flipping the pages, but it was like steady. Like it wasn't because of the air. It was steady. Like somebody was holding it. As soon as I got close to it, it dropped again. We had a couple priests come over to the house, pray over the house, and everything seems to be normal again.
Are you connecting all these things together, everything you saw in your backyard, to the things you've experienced over these past few months?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I think so.
With all of the paranormal activity happening inside your house, are you thinking about moving away?
Oh yeah, soon I'll move away from this house, yeah.
Everybody or just you?
Everybody, I think.
You guys are done with this place?
Yeah.
If that event would have happened in my house, I would have been gone way before those Bibles and crosses started moving.
This is a mood ring toilet seat, but I want to know what monster sat in a closed toilet seat with his balls out.
Genius inventions that should exist everywhere. Firstly, there's elevators in Asia that have huge buttons on the floor. So instead of using your hand to pick what floor you go to, you just kick a button. This way, if you're holding something with both your hands, you can still use the elevator with your foot. Next, in this store, you're able to keep your dog in a safe place while you go shopping. There's also a security system, so you're the only one who's able to get your dog. And it even has air conditioning and lighting. Somewhere in the US, this shoe store lets you test their shoes on different surfaces. It includes asphalt, gravel, and even Lego. Finally, in this restaurant, you can use a 3-button controller. The first one alerts the waiter when you're ready to order. The next one is to tell them you're ready to pay. And the last one is to tell them to cancel the order.
This woman invented a gun that instantly freezes your tears and turns them into bullets so that you can fire them at whoever made you cry. It works by catching your tears in a silicone.
I know about that, cause I know a couple of crybabies out here that have unlimited ammunition.
Pouch underneath your eyes and instantly freezing them into little tear bullets that are ready to shoot. It's not designed to hurt anybody though, it's more of an artistic metaphor. And it provides an emotional release for the person using it.
After cool, let me show y'all the plan. Easy, 2 seconds. You can make a meal and a chair. Think about it. Think about it. What are you? Here we online.
Genius invention that should exist everywhere. This is for people that hate doing the dishes. Just put this gadget in a sink with some soap and water, and a few seconds later it's all clean. And this pen can replicate any color you want. All you need to do is scan a color you really want to use and start drawing. Amazing! This might be the best fire extinguisher ever, because it's shaped like a bowl and all you have to do is throw it at a fire and boom, it's off. Life-changing. Next, I'm sure most of us hate doing 2 trips when bringing in the groceries, right? Well, with this device, you don't have to ever again, because you can just attach your bags to it and bring it all in one go.
There are some products you use every day that were actually invented for a different purpose. The treadmill was originally invented to torture prisoners. Prisoners were required to step continuously to turn the wheel in order to pump water. They would spend 6 hours a day on the treadmill with almost no breaks. Eventually, they got rid of this because it was considered too inhumane. Coca-Cola was invented by a war veteran who, just like every other injured soldier back then, used morphine to reduce the pain. Eventually, he was addicted to morphine and he actually invented Coca-Cola to cure his addiction. Now, the founder of Vaseline believed that he found the perfect formula for healing wounds. He believed in his product so much that he would apply Vaseline to every wound to prove that it would heal faster, and he also ate a spoonful of it every day until his death.
Did you know that cornflakes were originally designed to stop masturbation? Yes, you heard that right, Dr.
I know a lot of people gonna stop eating those after watching this.
John Harvey Kellogg, the creator of cornflakes, originally worked as the superintendent of Battle Creek Sanitarium in Michigan. Dr. Kellogg was a staunch Seventh-day Adventist and a firm believer that sexual activity was in large part to blame for the disorders he treated at his institution. Sounds like a fun guy. Part of John Kellogg's methods to prevent his patients from masturbating was to provide them with bland food, as he believed that spicy or sweet foods would stimulate one's passions. John Kellogg founded the Sanitas Food Company, and he and his family created their magnum opus in 1894, cornflakes. Originally marketed as Granos, this cereal was an immediate hit, even to those not looking to curb their lusty habits. However, division would come from within the Kellogg family when John's brother Will Kellogg proposed adding sugar to the recipe to increase sales. Naturally, John Kellogg saw this as a perversion of his bland, anti-masturbatory creation and refused outright, causing the brothers to fall out. Will decided that John was missing out on too big an opportunity, and in 1906 he founded the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company, which would come to be known as the Kellogg Company that we all know today. So next time you tuck into a bowl of frosted flakes, spare a thought for John Kellogg, who's probably rolling in his grave right now.
It's unbelievable. This man actually invented a generator with a bearing and 2 syringes. He lit up light bulbs with ease and even tried to make a second sun out of it. Is this a fool's errand? All I can say after seeing the end of the video is that this man is amazing. The man first purchased a bearing online, and due to limited funds, used bearings are much cheaper than new ones. Next, he traces the outline of the bearing on a board and draws the imaginary shape of the bracket with it in the center. A saw blade was used to cut out the bracket along the red line, and then the bearing was gently hammered into the groove of the bracket. The workmanship could be described as very fine. The next step was to make a shaft from bamboo that matched the bore of the bearing, and you can see that the shaft is completely handmade. Next, a rivet shape was machined. The man glued the bracket with the bearing to another board and mounted a small motor on the bearing in reverse, because he wasn't using electricity to drive the motor. He wanted the motor to generate electricity in reverse to light a light bulb. The man had prepared 2 clean syringes and 4 button magnets, which were obviously a little antique as well. When it comes to utilizing waste, Indians are really good. He glued the magnets to the syringes in the same direction to achieve the effect of peer repulsion. Then he removed 2 magnet rings from the old radio and glued them to the syringe with 502 glue. Now put the pusher into the syringe to see the effect. When the pusher is near the bottom, the magnetic force of the magnet repulsion pops the pusher back. Take 2 yogurt straws, cut them to 2 centimeters long and glue them to one end of the pusher with hot melt glue and make 2 simple springs out of bicycle strips. Next it was time to start assembling. First connecting the syringe to the bearing with a simple spring bar, then fixing the syringe to the bracket with hot melt glue, so that when the bearing rotates it will drive the actuator to make a piston movement in the syringe. The other side was fitted in the same way, so that a generator was complete. Only one of his fingers was needed to start the machine. And now the man was about to prove whether the great conjecture of the artificial sun could be realized or not. Just like that, a simple device without any energy input actually did light up a light bulb. The man said that if the device could be enlarged 10,000 times, it could light up its city 24 hours a day, and if it was enlarged 1 billion times, it could create a second sun. What do you think about the little brother's great solar dream?
I know what you're thinking, and no, this man is not trying to unclog the toilet with his mouth. This is actually a toilet snorkel, and it was invented in 1982 as a way for someone trapped inside a burning building to access fresh air through the...
Hey, so, y'all dying or y'all sucking air through the toilet?
A sewage vent that's connected to your toilet. And if you're worried about the smell, well, there's actually a charcoal filter that's built into the system. So you're good to go.
These are the weirdest inventions that you won't believe existed. Up first is the group shaving machine. This 19th century machine could shave up to 12 men at once. The main reason for its failure was that it cannot alter its movements according to someone's face shape. Next up is snow protectors. This was a Canadian invention in 1939. This plastic contraption offered protection for the face during snowstorms. One reason it did not work was because apparently it was not comfortable, but I think it failed because it looked so creepy. Finally is Siamese dancing shoes. This was invented for dancers so they could feel as one when they are dancing, but instead it caused a lot of problems. People were breaking their ankles and tripping and falling to the ground, and that makes perfect sense because I don't know how 2 people could dance while having connecting shoes.
Can't believe this was an actual invention the US tried to make. In 1994, the DoD wanted to look into non-lethal chemical weapons to help gain an advantage on the battlefield. They looked into a bunch of different ways to incapacitate or distract the enemies and thought about the most distracting element of all, sex. They put together a 3-page proposal for a $7.5 million invention, the gay bomb, which would be a cloud of gas that contained chemicals that would cause the soldiers to become gay and be distracted by their irresistible urge to one another. Among other non-lethal methods that were proposed were a heavy sweating bomb, a flatulence bomb, and a halitosis bomb. The idea was to make the enemies so loud and smelly it was easy to find them.
This is going to blow your mind. The coolest invention of 2024 is a device that literally turns air into water. Debuting just 2 days ago at the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, is a device called the Water Cube that takes the moisture out of the air, filters it, and produces up to 110 gallons of pure drinkable water for your home per day. You can think of it like solar panels, except instead of using the sun to create power, you're using the air to create water. According to Genesis Systems, the company that produces this unit, this technology has been available to the government for years, but this is the first time that it is available to consumers, and you can get one for $20,000. As you can see here, it looks like a futuristic air conditioning unit. It comes with the technology to filter the air, turn the moisture into water, along with two 55-gallon tanks to store the water. It can be powered by conventional energy, solar energy, and can even be controlled by an app on your phone. We know that water is one of the most important resources and also one of the scarcest resources. So you no longer have to go out and look for a plot of land with a well if you want to produce your own water. There's no doubt that this is going to be a game changer. You can use this anywhere in the world, including off-grid. But I'm curious to hear what you think about all of this down below.
That seemed like they should have had these like 20 years ago. I remember we had these dehumidifiers in the military that we plug into the jet to suck the water out. Basically the same concept.
We created a paintbrush that has an unlimited flow with regulations to the control of the features that the fluid comes through the bristles. It's super simple.
Why not just use a spray gun? Maybe it's because they want a certain type of texture. Who knows?
Flows right through here. You have a trigger that regulates the flow of the paint, of course. We have a quick connect. You don't need any wrenches. A needle valve. We have a needle that comes through here. It's protruded about 1/4 inch through the bristles, through the ferrule. So anytime that the paint comes through, it doesn't start hitting the bristles till midway. Okay. So no buildup around anything. It's super easy to clean once you take it off. Ratchets, of course. You take it off. Interchangeable heads. Run a water spigot through there.
You have multiple sizes. And what power is it?
Airless sprayer. Any conventional.
Any airless sprayer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where can you find it?
ProPowerbrush.com.
Check this out, it's a stroke of genius. This glove, designed specifically for Parkinson's patients with hand tremors, is a game changer. Before wearing this glove, patients struggle to hold a pen or even drink water due to severe shaking. But with the glove on, they can draw steady patterns and drink smoothly. Named Gyro Glove, it was developed by an international research team. With 200 million people worldwide suffering from Parkinson's and essential tremors, affecting basic tasks like holding a glass of water, researchers turned to gyroscopes for a solution. Gyroscopes maintain their orientation while spinning, so the team installed a high-performance mechanical gyroscope on the back of the glove. This counteracts the tremors, providing relief. Wearing the glove, patients can not only perform simple tasks, but also pursue their passions, like playing the piano or guitar. The glove's advantage lies in its non-invasive nature, no drugs or surgery, just hours of wear with a long battery.
Now that's good if they can play Jenga. Now I'd be mad if I played Jenga with somebody with that glove on that had Parkinson and lose.
Having won 3 innovation awards in 2024, the Gyro Glove is hailed as the most advanced tremor stabilizer in the world. What do you think of this ingenious invention?
Alright, top 5 weirdest inventions. First up, we got this sewing machine bike. Bro, look at this thing. Why does it fit 4 people? And there's multiple problems you got to deal with. A, 2 people farting in 2 people's faces. First of all, you got to sew straight lines, so how's that a thing? And if Buddy up top loses balance, it's over. Alright, next up we got mass shaving machine. Look at all these dudes, scared for their life. And man, I hope everybody in this room is rocking the same type neck, because if not, everyone's getting cut. Everybody, look at this man. Look at these people, they are scared for their life. Anti-eating mask. This is supposed to help you stop eating so much, but in reality, it is a human muzzle. Look at that. That's for dogs. That's something you put on your dog. Mustache shield. This is elegant. I can't even say anything bad about it. Like, that's just a different level of class. Mini smoking umbrella, you know, if you're fiending, I get it. Follow for more of these things where I explain things.
Who genius idea was it to mop the floor with the baby? I'll definitely use that and have the toast printing out portraits of myself and hand it out to my guests when they come over. Oh no, that looks pretty comfortable. I had to admit, it looks weird, but I don't know. I'll sacrifice weird for comfortable. Now that's just somebody that just loved their dog a whole lot.
It has all of our tools and it has everything we need, and when it shuts up you don't even understand what it is. It looks like a factory truck just that normally would drive down the road. Also with our bumper drawer invention, this truck used to have it on it as well. We pulled it off because we are still in the process of doing all the R&D. So anyone on here that has been interested in the bumper drawer, we will have updates soon, but making a global product is not as easy as it sounds, especially when it's just my dad and I. So we are figuring that out. But let's get right into how this works, how it should have worked, and why it was kind of a big failure for my dad and I, because we have a lot of money, time, and effort into this product, and it just didn't work. As you can see, this is what it looks like. It's just your normal dually truck. My dad loved this truck. It's F450, and this thing is a towing monster.
And it's going to be for sale.
It is going to be for sale, and that's why we're doing this video, actually, is to pull off all the inventions so we can sell this truck.
Right now, it's dirty in here because I literally haven't opened this for several years, because we made, I don't even know how many revisions we have made.
Now he know these people was coming there to look at the truck. He could have cleaned that truck up. Hey, look, I'm just gonna let y'all know, hey, my house is dirty a little bit before y'all come in here looking ass.
This. And there's a lot of work into it. So basically, the idea was you slide the fender open, and then you have a couple different pockets. You have one pocket right here for tie downs, where you can just pull the tie down out, not tangled at all, just boom. Go do whatever you want. And then you could put them right back in, so none of them get tangled. So on this end,
Smart inventions you didn't know existed. This crosswalk is projected on the snowy road so you can still see it. This restaurant has solar-powered phone chargers built into the umbrellas. This rooftop for bicycles so the seat won't get wet. At these ruins in Serbia, there's a window that shows you what the building used to look like. This toaster has a window so you can watch its progress. This car has windshield wiper heaters that melt the ice and free your wiper blades during winter. This keypad randomizes the spots of the numbers so people can't memorize what you're typing from your hand movements. This plug is designed to go around other plugs. This remote has a headphone plug in it to listen to TV quietly. These public swings power chargers you can use for your phone in this train station. This kinetic sidewalk generates electricity when you walk on it. This car has cup holders that can warm up your drink or cool it down. These train seats in Japan face the window so you can see the scenery. This is a magnet bracelet that can hold screws while you do other things. This luggage store has an airplane set up for customers to test their carry-ons and under-seater bags. This bucket has a flat side to put against walls so it's easier to fill up. UPS in Italy uses these bicycle trucks to deliver packages to places in narrow streets of Rome. This is a shopping cart cleaning machine in Germany. This university has a wall that you put the seat in when you're done with it. This maintenance guy's shirt doubles as a sign.
ARC claims that the floating city will be operational by 2030. While the floating city is still in its development stages, the use of quadcopters has already reached new heights. Just take a look at how drones can be used for cargo transportation right now. Vertigo is a four-wheeled robot that can drive on walls. To achieve this, engineers at Disney Research equipped the device with two tilting propellers mounted on top of the robot. By changing the tilt angle, the rear propeller pushes the robot towards the wall, while the front one pulls it upward. This allows Vertigo to transition from a horizontal surface to a vertical one. According to the developers, this design gives the robot freedom of movement and flexibility in choosing its path both indoors and in urban environments. The robot is remotely controlled, but the tilt angle of the propellers is automatically adjusted based on the surrounding conditions. Thanks to the use of advanced lightweight materials in construction, the robot weighs only 4.4 pounds and
they might well make it able to fly too if they already got propellers on there. That'd be crazy. I'd get one.
is 23.6 inches long.
Americans invented that. This is a syringe. If you've ever been to the doctor or had any procedure done, you will recognize this. But at one point, they looked like this. And they were made using a tube, the bulb or bladder of an animal, and a cord to wrap up the top. Here's a real-life image of what that would look like. Here's what a needle would look like. And here's another version of the syringe. Now, in 1853, a Scottish doctor named Alexander Wood was miscredited for the creation of the first syringe. But it was Native American and indigenous people that had originally created it. A hollowed-out bird bone, which was connected to an animal bladder, would hold and
Look all the junkies out there giving praise.
Inject fluids into the bodies. This was used to inject medicine and to irrigate wounds. There are also cases in which these tools were used to clean ears and serve as enemas. So when it came to Native and indigenous people, we had far more advanced medical systems than those found across the ocean. Example of a tribe that used needles is the Algonquin, and they called them this. Needles were made from deer, eastern elk, and pig, and were traded with the English settlers when they came to Virginia. So not only did the Native Americans and indigenous people of Turtle Island, aka North America, use plants as medicine, but we had medical tools. So the next time you go to a doctor, or you happen to get one of these, nobody really likes one of these, remember Native American and indigenous people are the reason why we even have access to these in the first place.